Matt, you got Patrick Mahomes at 54 compared to everyone else that has him somewhere in the 20s. What goes into that?
It's basically just a late round quarterback strategy, which is something we like to do in seasonal leagues. It's very different from, best ball setting where you're trying to reach a ceiling. But in seasonal leagues, we're starting these players on a week to week basis. So at the end of the year, if we use last year's rankings, for example, you have Josh Allen finishing with about 395 half point PPR points. You look down the rankings and you get somebody like Ryan Tannehill, who very much fit the late round quarterback mold last year. He was a late round pick, double digit round quarterback. He finishes with 343. So on a week to week basis, especially in now a 17 game season, that's not a huge difference when you're looking at raw individual output. So when you have to draft Patrick Mahomes in the 4th round, there's a lot of opportunity costs associated with him when you could be taking a high upside running back or a high upside receiver.
So essentially at 54, what you're saying is, hey, there's no way I'm drafting someone like Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson.
Especially with the late round quarterbacks we have available. So if you just want to look, at this year, for example, you could get somebody like Joe Burrow, who has some sneaky rushing upside. It's not going to be comparable to a Josh Allen, likely just because of Josh Allen's red zone role. But Joe Burrow, somebody who's run in the past, he is coming off a major injury, but that's a very pass-happy offense. Later in the draft, you have players like Trey Lance, who does offer a lot of upside with his legs. And while he might not be the day one starter, that just gives you a chance to potentially pluck him off waivers. Those are 2 examples of why I would wait.
I think the studies have been done where the biggest difference between a late round running back or wide receiver versus a late round quarterback is not, the projections are just wildly different. We know with certainty the amount of fantasy points that these late round quarterbacks are going to be able to provide us compared to, yes, the high upside of a certain, 10th plus round running back that we like the profile of. But the bottom line is a lot of those picks end up being wasted picks. So especially in best ball, where we're really trying to maximize each and every pick, that can often be catastrophic, if not just detrimental to your team. So I kind of agree with Matt that there's like a reason to just put them really low in your rankings, but I do sort of have a counter argument, which is in best ball specifically, there is a little bit of an advantage because when you take Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, you free up a roster spot because you really are only going to take 2 quarterbacks instead of 3 because you're hoping for that upside from the.
Well, we're not talking about best ball, are we?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to. You're totally right about season long. My rankings were with best ball in mind, but that's neither here nor there.
Alex, what do you think about the late round QB strategy? Because I know last year, I had a lot of early round quarterbacks or early round Mahomes, I think. And this year, again, you're much higher on Mahomes than the ADP and a lot of other people. Are you not a fan of the late round QB strategy?
I think that it makes sense to not be player agnostic with this. So it's like, how many more points will Mahomes score compared to this replacement quarterback? Obviously, if you select a running back, their projection is going to be a lot lower at this ADP than Patrick Mahomes. So it's really the difference between that and the guy you can get later. So it kind of, I like putting it in the context of the year. So Matt, you're saying there are some guys that you really like at the end of the draft. So that makes it a good strategy. It's really like, are there guys dropping at each position that you think are going to be really good plays? Because that allows you to kind of seize the edge at other positions.